Welcome once again to Living in the 21st Century. Joining me today is Vasyl Shevchenko, former Transportation Minister of Ukraine. Vasyl, it's always a pleasure having you.
Thank you. Nice to see you. Thank you for having me. Thank you.
Absolutely. I want to first start by asking this question. The U.S. Treasury issues a 30-day license to allow sale of Russian oil stranded at sea. What you think, aiding Russia in oil, how do you perceive that, knowing that very well Russia and Ukraine is at war? These were one of the sanctions that was against Russia. And what do you think of that? Because that is enhancing their capability. What you think about that?
First of all, I don't think that Russians will have a huge profit from this business, because in the public sphere is the 10 billion that they can made at this trade relations during the crisis, which has been launched in Persian Gulf. And first of all, we know that Russia couldn't sell their oil before, and Indians and Chinese have good skill to bargain with the Russians, and as usual they have discount for up to 30% from the prices. We can see, for example, for the oil, for Brent oil, their Urals oil as usual was selling lower prices and minus 30 discount. And we remember that many tankers were in the Indian Sea. They were waiting permission for selling. But before this crisis, all this fuel was sold, but to say not fuel, but oil was sold according to the low prices. And now they are looking for the instruments to increase the volume of supplying abroad, but it's impossible. And you know that according to the United States President Donald Trump, he informed that he canceled these sanctions, and then he corrected that he canceled only for 30 days. And it means that they will not be able to work and to launch this mining oil enough to have full tankers again, and it means that profit will not be huge. And now we understand that it's measure which have been caused spiking prices as a result of war in the Persian Gulf. First of all, we can see that Iran's rebels movements are blackmailing opportunity to suspend, to stop supplying, and frightening that price can spike up to $200 for barrel. But nobody knows what will happen next. But I'm sure that Russia will not have good profit at it, because first of all they have no enough oil to sell immediately, and they will not be sure that this restriction will continue. And we hope that the United States President understands that Russia is on the same side with Iran, and Russia is providing Iran's rebels movement against United States using reconnaissance information from them, and they are ready to cooperate. And we have seen the drones debris with the numbers. This drone which can confirm that Russia is supplying spare parts for producing for assembling drones which are attacking neighboring country and United States military base and military vehicles. And then we can see that it's not a good idea any restriction for Russia Federation, but nevertheless we are alive as United States, and we can understand any action which would be done, and we understand that these restrictions have been cost the domestic relations and domestic prices for oil inside United States, and as far as I know, it's has touched different countries.
Okay. One other question here is that the EU indicates that there will be a war loan given to Ukraine despite of Hungarian opposition. We know that recently Hungary was trying to bring obstacles from Ukraine acquiring a loan from the EU. But it looked like it's although will be given. Do you have any information on that?
No. First of all, we know that Hungarian Prime Minister Mr. Orban is trying to improve his situation, because we know that that pools inside this country have confirmed that he is losing his victory, and now he's trying to demonstrate that he is against Ukraine, against the European Union, against all countries who doesn't allow him to improve the situation in Hungary. And you know that Ukraine has a pipeline which is providing fuel from Russia Federation, not fuel, oil from Russia Federation to Hungary. And one from the latest shelling, this pipeline was damaged, and they decided to blame Ukraine, that Ukraine is not ready to fulfill promises and is ready to undermine his victory. And then he sent so-called envoys without permission, without Foreign Relations Ministry confirmation. But nevertheless, Ukraine's authorities fulfilled all duties, and company which is operating this pipeline and pumping station demonstrated pictures from place of heating, and demonstrated that it's impossible to repair immediately, and addressed to European Union and Hungary authorities to help us to repair this station. We are ready to work together to repair this station, to provide oil, but it's impossible in current situation. And nevertheless, after that, authorities decided to repeat their demands to Ukraine without paying attention for information from Ukraine. And now the situation is suspended, and it seems to me in 3 weeks we will have election. Not we, but Hungarians will have election campaign in Hungary and will demonstrate their choice.
Right. So you're confirming then that the offer to fund repairs to Druzhba pipeline, the Druzhba pipeline, by the EU is accepted? Is it going through? We got an idea on that?
I cannot say that it will help. European Union to have fuel from the Russia Federation, because volume which is being pumped from Russia is not important for current situation. And them, that they tried to have agreement with European countries concerning transiting transiting oil through one from the European country, and they refused to allow it because sanctions European Union doesn't allow to have them because this pipeline through Ukraine was restriction, and in exchange of confirming support for Ukraine and cooperation with in Ukraine didn't resist it to allow Hungary to have lower prices for fuel to work, and the European partners were not ready to prohibit this type of providing oil Hungary and Slovakia.
Okay, and also Ukraine and UK signed a deal to manufacture supply of drone technology. I mean, it seems like progress in a way, because here is Ukraine in a war, and they're supplying technology to the UK with drone technology. But more importantly is that a couple of weeks ago, even the United States had been asking for information on how to deal with combat and drones and so forth coming from Iran and Russia and so on. So it seems that despite of Ukraine's war, they had built an imagery of good defense to even combat one of the world's largest superpowers. How do you perceive Ukraine military in the future going forward as leading the European nations in terms of military forces and so forth? How do you see the future in the military for Ukraine?
I'd say that Ukraine was so-called technological ground place the Soviet Union. It's Ukrainian specialists were producing intercontinental missiles, and were producing high sophisticated those time weapon. And then after Ukraine transmitted our long-range bombers, our nuclear weapon to Russia Federation in exchange of security, we faced that that current situation doesn't allow us to defend itself from powerful neighbor who has our nuclear weapon, which was taken from Ukraine. And the specials are still living in Ukraine and still working, and because of it, that Ukraine has managed to stop Russia Federation, to eliminate Russia's Black Sea Fleet. Now you can see, and now Ukraine is fighting effectively against Russia Federation using different type of drones. First of all, it's Ukrainians who produced FPV drones, short range, middle range, long range drones, which are effectively fighting. But to have opportunity to produce it, we have to build a different type of missiles, different type of drones, and to combine it with a different type of air defense from different countries, because you know that Ukraine has received air defense system from different countries, and we are in our cooperation, in a deep cooperation with our partners, with the United States, with Great Britain, with the European Union partners, because current challenges are confirming that only in cooperation and testing it to the battlefield we will see the outcome. And now we can see that we are able effectively to repel Russia's attack, which are consisting on 500 combat elements, drones, missiles, different type, and artillery shelling, gliding bomb, and all the system are attacking Ukraine every night and every day. And we have endured and we have become strong, and our specialists has become developing our technologies. And the results, when United States Army faced with the challenges in Iran, it appeared that they are using Russia's tactics, because you know that they were involved in experience. Koreans were involved in this war. Iranians were involved in this war. It's they who were producing first Shahed drones to hit Ukrainians, and it's they who helped Russia to build huge plants which are producing 500 drones a day. And now we can see that all the systems can be attacking from this system can be prevented. The technologies which have been drilled in Ukraine, and because of it, Ukrainians are ready to support our friends, and especially United States and neighboring country who's on our side. And because of it, Ukraine's president informed that now Ukrainian soldiers, Ukrainian military specialists are working at the Middle East, are working together with our partners just to have opportunity to build it immediately to prevent future attacks.
How at this point, I guess that Russia is still intensifying the bombardment on Ukraine. Do you think that other nations, well, we know that once North Korea was supplying him with military equipment and so forth, and even Iran with drones. Now, I understand that a good part of Iran's drone system had been knocked out where they can't produce like they were producing before. However, they still have a big stockpile of them. Do you perceive them selling those drones still to Russia, or there's a lack of drones now in the air over Ukraine?
I'd say that now quite difficult to understand which instruments will be more effective against new technologies, because it's so-called new technologies from the past, because you know that higher sophisticated weapon is effective but too expensive. And because of it, we have to work with the cheap instruments just to have opportunity to prevent. And very often we are using equipment which is jamming Russia's drones, which can prevent different blow, because their instruments were based at the at the technologies from the West, and it was based at the technologies company which is producing mobile internet, Starlink. And after agreement, Russia's Starlink, which were bought through mediators, is not such effective, but it exists. And now we must know how to work, how to suppress their opportunities to use it at the combat lines, for example, in the Middle East. You know that we have seen many videos which are demonstrating that that Iranian drones are flying easily different places, and are broadcasting intelligent information, and it means that our neighboring country will need the same type or similar type of equipment we are using, because Ukrainians at the battlefield and close battlefield are using different type of system which are preventing their opportunities to have type of weapon which would be high precision for hitting residential areas. And in this case, it seems to me we have something outstanding, but Ukrainians have experience how to combine different system, because now we have no instruments against ballistic missiles which are hitting Ukraine, except United States Patriot system PAC-3. And now we know that company which is producing cannot produce enough this kind of drone, and it means that we can use against ballistic missiles only this type of missiles. And you know that this system wasn't prepared for intercepting ballistic missiles from the very beginning. It's results of our cooperation with producers, with United States producers and Ukrainian specialists who were involved in these negotiations. And as far as I know, that software was corrected, and after that it received extra opportunities to intercept it. And now we can see that our challenge, our common challenge is how to combine immediately different instruments to build the same system or similar system we have in Ukraine to protect our allies.
Mm-hmm. Do you have an idea if there's any intelligence to Ukraine that would give Ukraine an idea to how far the depletion of Russia artillery really is? Because I thought it was mentioned that between the middle of this year to the last quarter down in the year, that Russia would be almost on the verge of complete depletion of artillery in the arsenal, and that's why they're depending solely on North Korea and other places to acquire artillery to carry out their battle and warfare. If this do happen, would Ukraine have any form of intelligence to monitor this as they deplete and pick up any strategic form of getting this war come to an end?
Now we can see that battlefield is changing every day, and before we saw that artillery was important, but now the kill zone, which started from 5 kilometers between sites, and now we are speaking about 50 and 30 kilometers, and it means that most successful artillery can shell for this distance. And because of it, for example, we can see that Russia has withdrawn all their military units, and you can see when Ukrainians military forces are reporting about everyday results of fighting, we can see that doesn't Russia's artillery system have been destroyed, because Ukraine has better drones. And for example, you know that Russians were surprised that Ukraine is hitting their producing ground places, which are producing different type of military goods. And at the same time, we can see that Ukrainian intelligence drone is broadcasting the hitting this these drones to the targets. We can see it online, and how we can see that Ukraine can lose Russia Federation when we are able to destroy their facility at the depths up to 1,500 plus kilometers in the depths of Russia Federation. And at the same time, we have opportunity to broadcast it. We can see it online how Ukraine's forces are hitting these targets. It means that we have chances, but we need support in the sphere of budgeting, in the sphere of energy resources, because you know that Russia is trying to prevent our opportunity to destroy their economy, because Russia's economy is at the brink of collapse. Because, for example, they can supply oil, but they cannot supply fuel, because most of their refinery have been destroyed. And every night we can see it, every day's results. We can see that military forces of Ukraine are reporting that the number Russia's plants in the depth of Russia have been destroyed every day. And it means that we are ready to have victory at the battlefield, and we are ready to have success. But now we can see that we count for our partners. We are ready to support our partners, but we count on our partners, and we are sure that we will win together. Because without our support, it would be difficult from the very beginning. We remember that United States supported us from the very beginning, and we remember that number of weapons we extra needed in those times was supplied from United States, and thanks to it we managed to win time, and time is working for Ukraine, and but only in one way, when we are together.
Okay. Well, on that note, Vasyl, we're down to the last minute. I want to say thank you for coming on again. Always good to shed light on what's going on between the Ukraine and Russia war. And for all those who have been tuning in on Living in the